Good afternoon, distinguished guests, graduates, family and friends. Welcome to Bond University's graduation. Please take time to note the nearest fire exit to you. They are located in each corner of the theatre. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please follow the directions of university staff. As today is a very special day for each of the graduates, please turn your devices to silent and remain in your allocated seats for the duration of the ceremony. A live stream of this ceremony is also available from the Bond University graduation website and Bond Uni YouTube channel. Graduates, I will now take you through the ceremony protocols for the presentation of awards. When directed by staff, please line up along the stairs to my right. When your name is called, proceed across to the middle of the stage to collect your testama, and then proceed across to the far side of the stage to have your photo taken with the Chancellor. Once your photo has been taken, go up the middle aisle to my left and across the back of the hall and proceed back to your original seats. The formal proceedings will commence shortly, but first, please enjoy a short video celebrating 30 years of Bond University.
Today, as of this moment, vision has become reality. The way is now ahead. From sandstone and a strong, unwavering vision, an institution was built to offer a student experience without peer. A university created to redefine the landscape, setting new heights for global education. In our first 30 years, almost 30,000 alumni have passed through our doors.
With all our graduates, please stand. Be successful, have great careers, and never forget Bond University.
With an unbreakable bond to the international networks and experiences that position them for success. Together, we have built a legacy. A legacy that continues to evolve today.
Bond University will take its place among the great universities.
As we strive for and reach new horizons in personalized learning, we continue to deliver a truly remarkable global student experience.
To my fellow graduates, thank you for your friendship. Please cherish the memories and friends, but continue making new ones. Goodbye and good luck.
Since 1989, Bond University has forged the way in law, business, society and design, health sciences and medicine, and sport. Led by great minds.
Bond University will become a magnificent jewel in the crown of Australian tertiary education.
With an even greater vision for the next 30 years and beyond. It's because of those who came before us that our future is limitless.
Graduates, will you please stand for the academic procession?
Chancellor, graduates, family and friends of the graduates, university colleagues, welcome to this graduation celebration for students who have completed their studies in 2019 and during 2020. Please sit down. Please join with me in thanking our Piper, Bond alumnus, Pipe Major Nick Tompkins. On behalf of the university community and on behalf of each of us, I acknowledge the people of the Yugambeh language on whose ancestral lands our university now stands. I pay my respects to their leaders, past, present and emerging, and I do so in a spirit of reconciliation. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected and interrupted every aspect of our lives, including the celebration of the achievements of our graduates. Here at the university, we acknowledge that graduation is a liminal event in the life of a student, and as a result, we are delighted that we are able to offer each graduate that is able to attend and their family and friends the opportunity to participate in this ceremony that publicly marks the significant milestone of graduation. Notwithstanding that COVID rules may change almost without warning, we at the university are pleased to see that so many of you are able to be present this afternoon. Each graduate here today will be presented to the Chancellor and have their photograph taken with her. The room in which we are gathered is the university's largest lecture theatre. It was named the Basil Sellers Theatre in honour and recognition of Basil Sellers AM, a major philanthropist who has had a successful business career as well as being an accomplished sportsman. Dr. Sellers is a significant benefactor to many organisations in Australia and abroad. It is now my great honour to introduce the university's 8th Chancellor, the Honourable Dr. Annabelle Bennett, AC, SC, FAA.
Thank you. They have to wait a second so I can get up, so I can get high enough to see you all over the lectern. The first thing is I notice, although there may only be one, I see one slightly younger person in the audience. If there are any others, I want to make it clear that if they get fidgety or make a noise, please bear with us. They're future bondies. We're very interested in marketing to them right now, and we want to make them feel very welcome. So don't worry if any young people make a noise. Don't feel any need to send them outside or anything such as that. Well, look, how good is this? This is fantastic, isn't it? I mean, I think we are the only university that is doing live graduations, and I'm so glad that you're able to get here and be here for it. I think it's fantastic because it is really special. I mean, I know so many students from other universities who, you know, receive them in the mail and things like that, and it's not quite the same, and you don't have your family and your friends around to share this very, very special moment. I don't know how many others are in the same situation as I. I mean, we've just had a Bond Council meeting, and it's been really exciting because we were actually able to get more of the council members here. I flew in yesterday morning. It was a big moment. I was farewelled in Sydney by singers, you know, at the gate, probably glad to see me go. I was welcomed when I landed into Queensland because it was the first flight in from Sydney with banners saying "Welcome back." And it was actually a great moment. Was anyone else a last minute arrival in, or are you all from inside Queensland and didn't have to travel? Anyone else like me? No? From those of us in the south, I'm glad. Oh yes, here we are. Welcome. I'm glad you got here too. We did know, for example, that one of our sets of parents yesterday drove from Melbourne to be there for their child's graduation, and they were queuing up at midnight to drive in to make sure they got in across the border. So that's how special this moment is for everybody, no matter where you've come from and whatever it is. Well, it's almost time for the summer holidays. We've all weathered a very unpredictable 2020, and we're all here at a graduation ceremony. Well, they're very special events, aren't they? Not just for the graduates, but also for partners and family and friends, and for all those who've supported them during their studies here at Bond. And I'm delighted that you're all able to join with the university and to honour each of the graduates at this occasion. It's trite to say, but true, that we're living in interesting times. And I'm really proud of the university and the way it's handled this pandemic and kept everything going, you know, with first with non-live, you know, virtual teaching, and now multimodal teaching, where we're able to maximise as much as we can our interaction with the students. And I hope it's really been good for everybody. And in the end, these graduation ceremonies, it's been as a result of what I can only call the iron determination of our Vice-Chancellor, who's managed to make this work, but it's been the work of a lot of people here at the university to ensure that this has happened, who've worked long and tirelessly to hold the ceremony, so that these ceremonies honour the graduates in a formal and public manner. So on behalf of all the graduates and their families, I do give a special thank you to the staff who've made this possible. So we're live streaming today's ceremony, so I'm aware we have a number of fellow graduates watching from various overseas and interstate locations. I welcome them, and I hope they feel that they're almost here in person. COVID's impacted on almost every aspect of our lives, and its impact both in a health and economic sense is set to continue for several years ahead. So this is going to go down as a remarkable period in human history. And the danger is, I mean, I had the interesting experience of serving on the Royal Commission into National Natural Disasters, and the one comment that we had in that commission when we talked about the bushfires of this year is that what was unprecedented is no longer unprecedented. So we can only hope that this pandemic, while it is unprecedented, we hope that nothing like this happens again, and that, you know, the vaccines all roll out soon so we can all resume a normal life. But the main thing for those of you here at Bond is that, you know, I hope you've had the same joy that I've had of being part of Bond. Every time I say the word Bond, I find myself smiling. It's almost like a Pavlovian reaction, I don't know why. And when I go into a room and I mention that I'm part of Bond University, I can tell from the other people who smile immediately that they're Bondies. And you know, they say once a Bondie, always a Bondie. So I'm hoping that you will all take that feeling with you as you go from here. Because the one thing about Bond is that the whole concept is that it's student-centred. And when I first met the Vice-Chancellor, and I can recall the moment very quickly and very, very straightforwardly, I said to him, so what is the mission of Bond? What is Bond trying to do? He said, we have 3 goals at Bond. I have 3 important aspects of the teaching of Bond. He said the first is the students, the second is the students, and the third is the students. Come on. So that's been important. It's a student-centred mission here, and the intimacy is induced by Bond's determination not to grow too large, to maintain diversity of people, together with a strong sense of independence and self-destiny, which are critical ingredients that make up the unique character of Bond and has driven us to the stage where we are one of the top 20 small universities in the world, which is not bad when you think about it. These are unique elements that are embedded in the DNA, and the superb student experience that's on offer, and the inviolate rule that the interests of the students are paramount. So notwithstanding the beautiful physical surrounds of the campus and the striking built environment, the ornate gardens, and of course the stunning collection of art on display across the university, the reality is that Bond is always about the people and community. So graduates, you're now joining a very proud, rich and diverse Bond alumni community with around 30,000 members spread around the world. There's always a Bondie doing something good somewhere in the world at any given minute, and we know that you're going to be part of that. So this is now your opportunity to join the alumni network and perhaps help someone else out and to do some good yourselves. We're always looking for opportunities to involve alumni in the life of the university through mentoring, graduate opportunities, guest presentations, and many alumni like to give back to the university during the various phases of their career. So following the ceremony today, please visit the Alumni Centre on your way to Don's Tavern to receive a graduation gift from the merchandise store and to grab a photo in the Alumni Centre. We understand just how significant a commitment it is to take a Bond degree. The path to today has required some extraordinary time, effort and application. And we know that our accelerated academic program is challenging, and deliberately so, because we believe that a university degree is something to be earned. But also, a Bond degree requires considerable investment, as we're a self-funded, not-profit institution. I know none of you in the room have noticed that. But so I do thank the many family and supporters and benefactors that have provided financial assistance to enable the graduates to study at Bond. So you should be immensely proud of your achievements, but you should recognise that they would not have been possible without support. So while today is a day to celebrate, it's also an opportunity to thank those that have supported you personally and financially during this time. And our Vice-Chancellor likes to say, and I think it's very apt, most of you will have a device. It's called a smartphone or a smart device. It has a number of functions. One of them is an unusual function. It's a telephone. It's not just for messaging or Instagram or Facebook and all of the others that you can do. It's for ringing somebody and ringing somebody to say thank you and to say hi, not just a message. Messaging doesn't have that same cachet, especially for those of the slightly older generation who would perhaps like to hear your voice as well as to see the picture on Instagram. So we urge you to do that. So basically, you each have a copy of the program where you can follow the list of graduates. I trust that you enjoy the ceremony and that you respect and acknowledge each and every one of our graduates and take away your very special moment, because I know what it feels like to be sitting in this part of an audience when the graduation takes place. I must say, I cried when each of my children graduated. I don't know, I'm not sobbing, but you know, that little sort of tear in my eye to realise that they'd got through to that point. And that was after I sat there with this sort of slight fear and trepidation that as someone was going to say at the last minute, no, take that degree away, that one didn't earn it. You know, so there was that moment, you know, when you know that it's done and dusted, and they've got it in their hands, and that's really important. So, as the Chancellor of this great university, I have many tasks to perform, but one of the most enjoyable is presiding over graduation ceremonies. I always feel that when I look at each graduate coming up, it's, you know, when I was a little kid, you used to put buttercups under your chin and they'd light up your face. I always feel that when I look at each person walking up, it's like a little buttercup under their face, because it's such a special moment for each person. I know you'll want to share that. So I look forward to the presentation of each individual graduate, and I ask that the Executive Dean of the Bond Business School now present the graduates. I don't trip when I go off. Over to you.
Thank you, Chancellor, and welcome everyone to this very special event. Before I formally present the graduates, I would like to remind you of the procedure that we will follow, compliant with COVID-safe protocols. Graduates, please remember not to shake hands with the Chancellor. Members of the audience should remain in your seats during the ceremony at all times. Chancellor, I present graduates from the Bond Business School and Bond University College. Oslian Giate Gonzalez. George Michael Aoma. Henry Troget Riddell. Jessie Rutherford. Alexander Pierce McKenna. Brighton Darius Arlett. Charles Bond Fuster. Adam Nicholas Goddard. Cameron Robert Gray Moffat. Tug Mooney. Jason Parandali. Rebecca Amy Bauer. Bradley Carl Evans. Sarah Gammy. Nicholas Kershaw. Scott David Robinson. Kimberly Sue Morrison. Cynthia Cherkasian. Mariella Canto Mott. Ian Eugene Gust. Malachi Carroll. Mitchell Scott Detweiler. Babu Mainu Haulada. Leroy Phillips. Patrick James Marr. Stephen Carl Pocock. Prabhanshu Bhardwaj. Zara Gafarova. Coleman Ashmore Jones. Malik Ahmad Abdullah Makalay. Mariana Morais Boshanek. Hannah Rose Barsalewski. Bailey Charles Jones. Trevor Kapka. Chancellor, our Valedictorian has been selected to give the Valedictory Address on behalf of the graduating cohort this afternoon. She has achieved a cumulative percentage average of 86% and a cumulative GPA of 3.75 out of a possible 4. She has achieved first in class in 6 of her subjects and was awarded the Excellence Accounting Award for the highest achieving postgraduate performance. Graduating with the degree of Master of Accounting with high distinction, Lauren Elizabeth Mons.
Hi everyone. What a year. I'm sure we can all agree that when we started our journey at Bron that we didn't think that this is how our last couple of semesters would end up. In such a challenging year, it really is a testament to each and every one of you that we're here either virtually or in person and we're able to celebrate finishing our degrees. My journey began 3 years ago when I decided to change my career and I started the Master of Accounting part-time whilst working full-time. The positive of this long journey is that I've been able to be around Bond for the 3 years and been able to meet even more students from all around the world, not only in the business school, but across all different faculties with our late night library and MLC sessions and at the gym. At the start of the degree, it's really daunting. And once the nerves and the shock subsides, the weeks would go by in a flurry of lectures, assignments, exams, and the dreaded group work. But then, as you know, the semester flies, and all of a sudden, that's finished and you're starting it all again. In all seriousness, I think back at my other uni experiences, and I feel that at Bond, the smaller class sizes, the lecturers, and the curriculum that emphasises a real-world situations and learnings has been invaluable. In the real world, we do need to work together as a team, and as I say, together everyone achieves more. And Bond has provided us with the skills and tools to succeed with this as we move on with our careers. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank and appreciate everyone that supported all of the students throughout their time at Bond, from partners, family, friends, work colleagues. They'll all be so excited they actually get to spend more time with you. And to the faculty and staff throughout Bond, particularly in the final 2 semesters. It's proved a challenge for everyone as we adapted to the pandemic, so thank you to everyone. I wish everyone the best for the future. I'm sure excited to build on your achievements from here. My next goal will be to achieve my CA or my CPA qualification, albeit with a slight break as my husband and I welcome twins in April next year. Thank you. And I just hope we all take the opportunity to connect with each other via LinkedIn. The better we remain connected, the more we can achieve great things together. And I look forward to staying in touch with you all through the Bond alumni. As it was mentioned previously, we are Bondies, so we'll take advantage of that lifetime network and support that we have here. It's been an incredible journey, and on behalf of all the students, thank you to everyone, and yeah, thank you to everyone we've met on the journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren, for those inspiring words, and congratulations on the outstanding manner in which you delivered them. And there's very good messages there for your fellow graduates. I'm sure your fellow graduates are proud to have a valedictorian such as you. And just to shed some further light on Lauren's achievements, her outstanding performance was in one of the most technical degrees in this university, which even full-time students find very tough to manage. So her achievements, while she balanced part-time study with full-time work as a finance accountant at Gold Coast telecommunications company Nexon Asia Pacific, were really outstanding. Not to mention there was also a pandemic going on, so she had to adjust, I imagine, her work life and her study life on the fly as it all played out this year. Her lecturers also commented that somehow Lauren found extra time to support her fellow students in the difficulties that they were facing. Well done, Lauren, and congratulations on your outstanding valedictory speech. I thank all our students and the audience, including those live streaming, for being here today. We are really pleased that we're able to gather together in person to celebrate your outstanding achievements. I particularly thank all of the supporters of our graduates. Behind every successful student, there is a veritable army of people providing the nurturing environment to help the students succeed. So thank you to you all. Today, we celebrate graduates from the second semester in 2002 and earlier. By any measure, this has been a tumultuous time to graduate. The year started with the turmoil of the bushfires, and then COVID pandemic hit fair and squarely. Education, workplaces were severely disrupted, and I think this fell most heavily on our graduates today. Your final semester will be unique in the history of Bond University, in that it is likely to be the only semester ever when all Bond classes were online. You handled all the challenges thrown at you extremely well and prospered. I'm confident that the Bond Business School and Bond College degrees that we celebrate today are excellent preparation for today's world. The mission of the Bond Business School is to build tomorrow's business leaders one by one. And what we believe are the key attributes needed by business leaders are the focus of our curriculum and our 3 research pillars, and are the following. Firstly, in business today, you need the ability to assimilate and critically assess huge amounts of information, often called big data. Comes from multi-channels, it comes from various levels of reliability of news sources. It just comes from everywhere, it comes at you so fast, and on the basis of that overwhelming amount of data, you need to make evidence-based decisions. You need to be able to sort the wheat from the chaff and make a call when sometimes there's a lot more chaff than there is wheat. And you only have to look at Facebook or Twitter and the sorts of things that have been going on recently. Let's take probably the biggest business issue facing the world today, the development of the coronavirus vaccines. The outcome of the vaccine race is crucial to society, but it's also crucial to business. And we think about how information is arriving. Trial data is coming from everywhere. There's perhaps going almost 100 vaccines being trialled. It's a business proposition, so people are trying to market the vaccines at the same time they're testing them, and it's happening all over the world. Trials are being run across many countries, and ironically, you want countries where the disease is rampant to run your trials. It's no good running a clinical trial in Australia for coronavirus because we've basically almost eliminated here. So often, the countries where the trials are being run are where it's difficult to gather good data, so there's poor data from some countries and even unbelievable data from some other countries and some various leaders. And even in the best run trials, we hear of some mistakes. A fortuitous mistake by the AstraZeneca Oxford trial where they got it wrong and gave half-strength doses to some of the participants. And that turned out to be the best possible outcome. It went over 90% in efficacy. But that was a mistake in a clinical trial by one of the leading institutions of the world. And the question is, does that undermine the data that you're getting from there? How do you use that data? That data's there, it should be valuable. How do you incorporate that into decision making? So we're awash with data, and on the basis of that, we need to make huge strategic decisions on the basis of that data, and then we need to forward plan. So we need to make decisions about when to open Australia's borders, which vaccine do we buy, or even when do we move an international airline out of hibernation. Business leaders need to be able to make evidence-based decisions which will have enormous societal and economic consequences. And if you don't fully utilise the available data, you will be at a competitive disadvantage. Secondly, in business today, you need to be entrepreneurial in your thinking and decision making. And it doesn't matter if you're operating in a startup or a large enterprise. Disruption is often quick and savage. You need to anticipate it, and you need to lead into the disruption. And doing nothing is not an option. Being meek or slow to react in the business world will inevitably lead to decline, and there are numerous examples. You can look back at things like Kodak, where they didn't react to the digital camera. More recently, the taxi industry didn't react properly to the rise of Uber. And thirdly, to be an effective leader, you need excellent skills in governance, accountability, and purpose. In the past year, we have seen numerous examples of the pitfalls of bad governance in Australia. We think of the banks, aged care, and most recently in the New South Wales Independent Liquor and Gaming Authority inquiry into Crown Resorts. And the possible outcome of that inquiry might be that Crown is found not to be a suitable person to hold a casino licence in that state. Now that will have massive consequences for anybody who's been down at Barangaroo and looked up in the sky and the big building that dominates the skyline there. That will have huge consequences. So bad governance leads to bad outcomes, and it's something that our business leaders need to be completely on top of. Business leaders also need to realise that not only shareholders will hold them accountable these days, they will be judged by stakeholders in the broad sense on a myriad of criteria, such as sustainability, climate credentials, ethics, and so on. Finally, businesses are increasingly expected to have a purpose, as enunciated by Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff, who said, "Companies can do more than just make money. They can serve others. The business of business is improving the state of the world." So those are the three key attributes that the Bond Business School thinks are essential to being a business leader in these challenging times. And our focus is unwaveringly on those three key attributes. And consequently, our graduates today are uniquely placed to succeed. So to all of you, take a deep breath, still your nerves, and go with confidence to meet the business world. You have the edge. I congratulate you all once again and urge you to keep in contact with us and your fellow alumni. There are so many ways to communicate today, but in person is special. So please drop into the business school, Bond College and Bond University and say hello when you have the opportunity. You will always be welcome. Graduates, please stand. Now we have a tradition of the charge at the university, and I will read it to you shortly. But remember, I'm going to ask you for your response, and we're in a very big room, and people are watching on the internet, so let's really get behind your response and make yourself heard. I charge you, as graduates of Bond University, to demonstrate at all times the highest moral and ethical standards, to apply your learnings and education to the benefit of society, to pursue the highest standards in all your endeavours with excellence, always your aim, and to support forever and enhance the reputation of your university through engagement as proud alumni. Graduates, do you accept the challenge? Yes. Great, good. You may now be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, that now concludes the formal part of the ceremony. Shortly, the official party, valedictorian, academics, and the graduates will process out of the theatre. Before we leave, let's give our graduates today one final round of applause for all they have achieved. I ask that you remain seated while the procession leaves the theatre and only exit once the last graduate has left the theatre. You're all invited to join the graduates in Don's Tavern for post-ceremony refreshments. You will need your ticket to gain admission to Don's Tavern, and unfortunately, you have to be seated once you're inside. Graduates, please stand for the departure of the official party.